All right, Shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, as well as the sincere salutations to Yehovah Le Akim, who are pushing this word all throughout the four winds of the earth. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Barakatham, and to you brothers worldwide teaching and preaching, in sincerity and in faith. And the article, there's an article attached to the name of this lesson. All right. The world is preparing for war, right? Because, we know that all-out war isn't going to break out yet. Yet the world is preparing for that. The other nations, they're preparing, for battle. So this is from The Hill. Global war fears rising among security experts. And he just speaks about the, around these different countries. They're doing the surveys. And it says that, it speaks about a multi-front war. All right, so warfare in different areas, right? It says if another world war breaks out, the use of nuclear weapons seems likely, which that's biblical prophecy. Okay, it's biblical prophecy for this place, Babylon the Great, aka America, to be completely destroyed by ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile. It says 48% of experts say they expect nuclear weapons to be utilized in the coming 10 years. We're just going to be way before that. It says the potential fighting could also take place in space, which we know that that's biblical prophecy as well. Roughly 45% of the survey's respondents expect a war that could, at least in some capacity, take place in space within the next decade, which is going to be way before that. They're going to be, in the stratosphere or, upper, atmosphere. It's see, E. That's why E got the Space Force. Which ultimately it's just an extension of the Air Force. But it's a whole nother branch. All right, because ultimately they're preparing. All right, they're preparing for war. And like the brother Lacamo was speaking about when he was quoting Reagan, if there was an alien threat, he didn't even say the word alien right. There was a alien threat. Would they not all come together? And ironically, everybody's going to come together to destroy this place, Babylon the Great, aka America. It says the conflict will also likely have devastating consequences for the global economy, which it just goes to show how bird brain these people are, because all it would take would be one. Just really, in all actuality, just one would completely shake all financial everything. Yet, prior to that happening, it's already going to be jacked up and crazy and messed up. It's not going to take, because see, when the ICBMs come, that's going to be all she wrote. It's not going to be like, okay, missiles come and then we got a period of time where everything is all good. No. Once the missiles come, that's it. That's it. This whole place is through. This whole place is going to be completely obliterated. It ain't finna quote unquote shake the global economy, right? Because after that, after the destruction of this place, simultaneously the Lord's gonna be here. So ain't gonna be no other nation to just rise up and take E's spot. Nah, man. See, that's the delusion of these other nations. It says about 28% of experts said a war between major military nations would be the biggest threat to global prosperity over the next 10 years. The only other threat that ranked higher was climate change in nearly 30%, according to the survey. Most of the experts, 65%, somewhat or strongly agreed that China will attempt to take over Taiwan within the next decade. It says 50% said Beijing would attempt a takeover. That was a misspelling of Taiwan, while 30% have the opposite opinion. This growing awakening on the part of the United States and its allies can become the basis for a call to action for the populations, governments, and militaries of these countries. The United States has typically waited until war was thrust upon it before preparing comprehensively, which that's bullshit. That's that's probably the biggest load of BS I have heard all week. Okay, that's false. So the U.S. waits until war is thrust upon it before preparing. No, that's not true. E is constantly sharpening his sword, man. It says now is the time to act, to prepare, ideally to deter such aggression, which is too late, and to be ready to hold firm if deterrence fails and we face a short, sharp war or a protracted one. Now, once it gets popping, which the CHIP has to come into effect first. But see, after the CHIP, and once all this gets popping, it's going to be a snowball effect. This is quickly going to go downhill. Another 45% of security experts somewhat or strongly agreed that Russia and NATO countries could be in direct military conflict. It's like a direct military combat within the next decade. With who? With who? That's like the top. Those are like the top enemies of Babylon the Great. And when you look at it, Russia, NATO, China, India, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, all the stands, all of Africa, which basically, China, Russia, alongside others, have heavily invested into that. The whole world is against Babylon the Great. So it's nothing that she can do, so to speak. And she can't talk herself out of this situation. Okay, right now, okay, you can see plain as day that the beast is starting to look at the whore with the side eye, right? Then it's gonna get to the point where the beast shall hate the whore. Okay. So these are different surveys. So they're asking, and this just isn't just regular, just every average, your average guy or whatever. These are security experts. Experts. They're experts in this field, right? All right, let me go to the scriptures. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. So we not on the side of anyone except for the elect of the nation of Israel. We not cheering for Russia to be up next. All right. We know that the elect of the nation of Israel is up. This is verse 3. And say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, and chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. So the Lord is using you. You're the Edomites as well. Esau versus Esau action, right? And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen. Yeah, so no matter how much peace uh, you wanna push, the Lord ain't having it. The Lord is gonna force your hand, right? And all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Tagarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So the Lord has them preparing on a carnal level. We, Lord's will we be of the elect of the nation of Israel, we're preparing on a spiritual level. It says, Ezekiel 38:8, After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. Damn, man. Jake gonna bounce back, you know. But Jake has always been jacked up. And this happening, this taking place, you should be happy for these things taking place. Because the closer we are to the end, Jake is going to rise. The elect of the nation of Israel is going to rise, all the way up until we're beamed up and put in those new bodies. So we're going to get closer and closer and closer to those new bodies, so to speak. Thou shalt ascend, it's like Ezekiel 38:9, it says, Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord power. It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safe. In this place, boy, they dwelling extra safe. You know, a lot of people, they don't even lock their doors, you know. So they not ready. They're not ready for these other nations. And they especially not ready for these so-called Russians. These so-called Russians, and you already know what they gonna have, man. The AK with the 2-foot long bayonet getting jiggy. All right, Ezekiel 38 and 11, once again. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. All of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. And you got all sorts of different people here. Hey, party's over. This place got to get cleared out. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, Art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey? To carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, Thus saith the Lord power, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it? Woo! And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, right? This is towards the end. We coming up on that day, right? And I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. You know, hey, Babylon the Great is gonna get it, and then over there, you know, in the quote unquote Holy Land, right? Israel. Right now, the actual land over there, it just looks like it's the land is mourning. The land is mourning. The land needs to be refreshed and cleansed. And when you see those pictures of the prescribed burns, or where they burn the entire field, that next season, you know, when you look in that dark black soil, whenever they grow something in that blackness, you know, it looks very lush, very, very green. You know, it's like a renewal, right? Yet the Lord is just gonna just bombard this place. Nothing's gonna be left. It's just gonna be just smoldering, just smoke. It's literally just gonna be smoke going into the air. Ezekiel 38 and 17. Thus saith the Lord power, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants, the prophets of Israel? Right? And we've been saying, starting off with the elder apostles of Great Millstone on down, we've been speaking about this to come. You know, all these things that happen in the news, people think that this is just what happens. Right? That there's always conflict in that. Okay, yep, Russia talking shit. Oh, yep. India, oh, yep, India over here talking shit. China over here. No, they're for real. You know, like brothers say up north, dead ass. You know, they are dead ass serious. They are dead set on, you know, getting it popping. That's because the Lord is stirring things up. Ezekiel 38:17, continuing, which prophesied in those days many years that I would bring thee against them. Yeah, so this has been, this has been going on. This has been prophesied about, right? And it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord power, that my fury may come up in my face. For my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken, and ultimately the missiles. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake in my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. Man, that's power, man. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord power. And since this is capital G-O-D, you know, I gotta say the full name. Spirit just got me saying it, the full name. I saw capital G-O-D. All right, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. Woo! All that, you know, why can't we be friends? All that shit is out of here. All that YMCA, you know. I'm trying to think of other ones. You know, that one Marvin Gaye song. You know, basically, you know, dancing all night. I forgot what the song is actually called. You know, that's over with. Now it's gonna be all right. Just you don't have. It's no such thing as brotherly love, right? It's gonna be all out chaos. Okay, it says Ezekiel 38:22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, an overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. That's the missiles. That's the missiles, man. Thus will I magnify myself, right? So the Lord is magnifying himself, and sanctify myself, all right? And I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord. You gonna know that this is of, what do they say? Heavenly godly proportions. That the people are gonna know. Okay, surely, the Heavenly Father is doing this, right? They're going to know that this ain't that what we said. This wasn't just a bunch of like the Elder Pastor Har was saying, not just a bunch of niggas just gathering together complaining. No, this is actually going to happen. This place is going to be destroyed by a thermonuclear missile. Right, but first, this has to take place. Look out in the video with this. This has to take place first. Well, I'll go ahead. I'll read the whole thing. Revelation 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy, all Edomites. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Right? Esau, Edom setting up the, because when you look at NATO and the EU and you see how everything is set up, basically E has set that up for that to be a thing. Okay? E has basically set the beast up, to be worshipped, right? It says, that beast system. It's not an actual beast, right? It's a system. And I saw one of his hands as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, right? And at first, okay, Rome was popping. Rome was Rome was the top civilization. Okay, and then it all crumbled, and then there was a revitalization of the Roman Empire, which is now called America, aka Babylon the Great. Okay, and it says, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, which they do. Everybody worships the so-called white man and his system, and more specifically the banking elite. All right, it says which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, "Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" Because who can? Who's going up against NATO and the EU? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. Yeah, unity, coming together, security. The nations being one and equal and all striving together to move forward. All that Edomite bullshit, right? It says, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. So that's why, they're constantly, they talk down on, the teachings of the Lord. They talk down, on the Lord himself. Okay, they talk down on the men of the Lord. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Yeah, and eventually they're finna get physical with us, right? And to overcome them. Okay, so we're not going to be out on the highways, highways and byways. We're not going to be able to continue to just do what we're doing now. That's why our freedoms and different things, the small things that we do get to do are getting more and more restricted. The Lord is just taking that away from us. In Barakatha Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we preparing for war. That's a good name of the title. Lord's will, I can make a video on that. Spiritually, we're preparing for war. Revelation 13:7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So who died and left you in charge? That's what the nations are saying, right? Which really, it's the Lord. The Lord set Esau, Edom up, right? It says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So that Lamb slain from the foundation of the world is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who, when Yahweh created Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai created the 144,000, Yahweh had it, set forth from the beginning that Yahweh Shai is to, to go through what he went through and go through crucifixion and being treated in such a way for the elect of the nation of Israel, right? That's who's in the Lamb's book of life, the elect of the nation of Israel. Lord's will, we're of that number. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Right? So only the elect can hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So Esau, you led us into captivity, so your ass is going into captivity, right? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Hey, you did it. right? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So we know that that's to take place. We know that, hey, you put us in captivity, so the Lord is going to come back, and then your ass is going into captivity. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, going into that, like we've been taught, that two-party system. And coming very, and coming like a lamb, and it's all a facade. It's all a facade. It says, and he spake as a dragon, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Right, that revitalized Rome 2.0, which is Babylon the Great, aka America. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. He's doing that all the time, right? And most notably, when E starts really pulling out real deal weapons, you're gonna see some weapons, man. E's gonna pull out some weapons on both ends. Babylon the Great is gonna be pulling out certain weapons, and these other Edomite nations, okay, they're gonna be pulling out certain weapons. And ultimately, intercontinental ballistic missiles, okay, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of warheads are going to touch down, not physically, of course, they explode, before they physically touch the ground, like we've seen in the videos. Yeah, we know that thousands upon thousands of those warheads are going to be detonated here in Babylon the Great, and they're going to be sent. From all the other nations are going to crowd around her, just like the scriptures say, spare her no arrows, right? Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And following that system, it's going to be a whole system in place that they want Jake specifically to follow. Because see, the heathen don't matter, man. They want Jake to turn from their power. In 2/3 of Israel, they're going to take a temporary, fix to a permanent problem. Here it is, you're going to take a CHIP just to eat, and in the future, later on, if this was to continue, they would just have you eating crickets and shit. That's what you're taking the CHIP for, to prolong an inevitable death, man. If we're going to die, we want to die in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Right? Revelation 13 and 15, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And one of the main ways is going to be beheadings. All right, that's going to be Esau's bread and butter. And he causeth all. He is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. So you won't be able to buy or sell, right? Save he that had the mark. So unless you got the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, which is all part of the mark. That don't mean, and we many times brothers have said that it's not like you're gonna go into the store and they're gonna ask you, okay, what's the name of the beast? What's the number of the beast? Okay, now you can buy. No, it's a physical chip, right? The RFID micro C Hizzle. Revelation 13:18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And like we've been taught, a score is 20, so that would be 668. and 6. Okay, and E is really big on symbolism as well. So this is a cutting. This is a sticking, a a proclamation. Like when you have a flag and you're waving a flag and you plant that flag into the ground, that's a proclamation. You are like Jake likes to say, standing on business. You're standing on that. Whatever that is, you've conquered that. If you have stuck, what I mean? If you have prodded, you're basically, when you walk around with that CHIP, you're basically saying that you are a slave to the beast system. You have let go. You have turned your back, on the Lord, and you have embraced E's philosophy, E's way of living. Because you're not gonna have that CHIP in you, and you still think you're gonna be serving the Lord, man. The Lord, and I'm just speaking as a man. Once you take that CHIP and that CHIP is in your hand, it's gonna just turn you. It's just any sort of thing that you understand or know is gonna all leave you. It's like once that CHIP go up in, you just basically a missile food. You basically a brute beast that needs to be destroyed. Once that CHIP goes into you, and it's no taking it out, or no gives these backsies, or trying to reverse it, or something like that, man. We have to resist this CHIP all the way to the end. Okay, because this is something, this is going to be a test and a temptation that's going to be placed upon the whole world. And the elect of the nation of Israel ain't finna take it. All right, Lord's will we be of the elect. All right, so Lord's will, you are edified. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem HaKakodash. Double honors once again to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, as well as the sincere salutations to you hopeful elect. Keep pushing, keep fighting through the spirit, all right, and putting your best foot forward through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem HaKakodash. We almost up out of here. We're waiting for, like the elder apostle Tahar was speaking on, we're just basically waiting on the CHIP. Once the CHIP gets popping, all right, that's when, we're going to start seeing things really snowball, all right? And we wait patiently for that. Yeah, occupy, let me, Luke 19 and 13. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. All right, so the Lord has given us certain, amount of understanding. Each brother, a certain amount of faith. It's everything, whoever is of the elect of the nation of Israel, he's given, a certain amount to each brother, and he has asked us to basically come back with, his investment, but with more. The Lord is pouring himself into us, and we go out on the highways and byways, we teach, and that's uplifting the nation of Israel, growing that fruit. Lord's will, we're growing fruit, profitable for repentance, and for mercy and for grace. Lord's will, we're doing that in sincerity and in faith. And the Lord is rewarding us, giving us more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, putting the Spirit on us, to fast, study, pray more, do more, be more, because we're coming up on that time of the end. We're almost in that time. And once again, we're waiting on that day patiently. So Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Barakat Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem HaKakodash. Until the next video, Shalom.